Hey, everybody. I hope and pray that you're doing well today as we come to our word from the Word. And today, that word is benevolence. Benevolence. And I love that image and saw a lot of those as I was looking for a picture for this word today and how it had the middle of it, love, backwards in the middle of benevolence. And I just enjoy that because at the heart of giving has to be love. And as benevolence is giving to those, giving to others, then love has to be the driving factor. And as we come to the end of Hebrews chapter 13, he kind of hits some bullet points, just kind of final exhortations, final encouragements for his readers. Some of them deal with how they deal with society, how they deal with those who are in need, and then even how they deal with their leaders and pastors and teachers, and then how they need to deal with those. And then even just kind of ends with some personal notes and some updates on some things going on. Now, looking at all of that, I'm just going to look at one verse today. And with that benevolence, it's one that's always kind of fascinated me a little bit. And I guess anytime we get to thinking about the spiritual world and we think about those things that maybe we don't quite understand, we were talking about that even this past Sunday in Sunday school. I think about the story of Elisha and his servant as the servant was scared to death, and he says, look, there's more on our side than it is for them, and prays that God would open his eyes. And then he sees all the warriors and angels and chariots around them that were surrounding them, and his eyes were open. And so many times we don't think about that spiritual side of things. But here today, Hebrews 13 verse 2, he says this: do not forget to entertain strangers, for by doing so, some have unwittingly entertained angels. Now, you just go back to the story even of Abraham, right? That he had angels in his midst. And then the same right after that, they went to rescue Lot. They didn't realize that they were angels. In that same way, the word angel is also messenger. So, in that way, it may be one of two things that he could be saying. One, that you've actually encountered spiritual messengers, angelic messengers that you didn't realize were angels. Maybe you thought something was a little different about them. Maybe you thought that, man, they got here at just the right time or provided something that you needed at just the right time. And in that same way, they were a messenger as well. But you could also say that would be the same for us. Think as a church that we have a guest speaker or a missionary to come and speak, and he could be a messenger that has a word for us. I think about this past revival we had with River's Edge and Brother John Wishon, and I know that, man, as he was delivering a message to us, he was a messenger. Now, in that, you say, okay, well, we entertained them, we took care of them, we showed them brotherly love. Now, we may have done so knowing that they were a messenger. But how many times, see, if you go before this, he's talking about brotherly love. Make sure that it continues. And right after this, he's talking about, dealing with even those in prison, and then even how to correctly, kind of some more responsibilities, even how you deal with your marriage and how to keep it undefiled. And so, having said all of that, with brotherly love at the heart of it, saying, don't forget to entertain strangers, how many times has God intervened in our lives or desired to intervene and we wouldn't entertain a stranger? We wouldn't show hospitality to someone who didn't fit our mold, who didn't maybe look like us, act like us, talk like us. Because most of the time, the kind of that word stranger is just what it sounds like. It's somebody that's strange to you. Maybe their lifestyle is a little different. Maybe their attitude is a little different. Maybe the way that they talk, the way that they dress, the things that they think would be a little bit different. But I wonder how many times we encounter people like that and they're actually a test from God. Not a temptation to lead us away from God, but a test to see if we will let brotherly love continue. If we will continue to love each and every one through the eyes of Christ. And I think today maybe it would be a good thing for us to practice benevolence. This is one where, a lot of times we talk about those who will ask for money. And you say, well, yeah, but they're just going to go use it for drugs or alcohol or whatever. Well, let's be honest as well. God has given us a spirit of discernment. And I promise you, right, on the authority of God's word, let's understand who God is, and He understands our frailties and our shortcomings. But if we are spending time with God, do you not think that God will honor you as you give, even if the one who receives spends it in the wrong way? And it's also one of those, if you're trying to get something, somebody says that they're hungry, fine. Take them to go get food. Don't just give them money. It's the same thing. If somebody says that they need money, maybe you can line them up some work where they can earn that money. It's nothing wrong with all of those things, because if they honestly need it, then they'll work for it. If they honestly need it, they'll take exactly what you're willing to give. If they're just looking for a handout, they want it in their way and in their time, then a lot of times that means it's probably not a test from the Lord, but a temptation from the enemy. So, as we are being benevolent and as we are expressing brotherly love, yes, we do so with the spirit of discernment. But let's make sure that we're not cutting everybody off. Let's make sure that we don't forget to entertain strangers, because you very well may be entertaining an angel instead. I tell you what, that's something for us all to think about and pray about today. God bless you, and I pray you have a great, great day.